Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is 𝐕𝐏𝐂 and in today's video I'll explain you how to deploy a static website on AWS EC2 with a custom domain. So we'll be starting completely from scratch. So here you can see this is the architecture right now we are going to follow. So initially first we are going to create a VPC, and after creating this VPC we are going to create a public subnet inside this VPC, and after that we are going to create an internet gateway and we are going to attach this internet gateway to this VPC, and after that we are going to create a route table and we are going to associate our public subnet with this route table. Okay, so once the networking setup is ready, we are going to launch an EC2 instance inside this public subnet, and after that we are going to SSH into this EC2 instance, and there we are going to install Apache 2 web server and we are going to deploy our static website into this Apache 2 web server. Okay, and additionally have purchased a domain name on GoDaddy with name 𝐕𝐏𝐂.in. So we'll use that domain name to create an hosted zone on AWS Route 53, and after that we are going to update GoDaddy name servers to point to our Route 53 name servers. Okay, and finally we will access our deployed website using our custom domain. Okay, so this is the architecture right now we are going to follow. So let's get started. So here you can see this is my AWS management console. So let's navigate to VPC. Directly select here your VPCs. So currently I have only the default VPC. So first let's create a VPC. Directly select here create VPC. So initially we need to give the name of the VPC. So let's give the name like my VPC, and here we need to give the IPv4 CIDR for this VPC. So let's give 10.0.0.0/21. Okay, and directly select here create VPC. So now here you can see a VPC has been created. So now inside this VPC we need to create a public subnet. Okay, so directly come here and directly select subnets and directly select here create subnet. So here we need to select VPC, under which VPC you want to create the subnet it is asking. So I want to create under my VPC, so directly select this my VPC, and here you need to provide the subnet name. So here let me provide the subnet name like public subnet 1. Okay, so this is the name I am providing. So availability zone, so here you can select any of the availability zone. So I'm going to select US East 1A, and here this is the VPC CIDR. Okay, so now here we need to give the IPv4 subnet CIDR. So here I'm giving 10.0.0.0/24. So it creates with 256 IPs. Okay, so directly select here create subnet. So here you can see a subnet has been created under this VPC, which is my VPC. Okay, so up to now we created a VPC and we created a subnet. So now we need to create an internet gateway, and we need to attach this internet gateway to this VPC. Okay, so let's directly come here and directly select here internet gateways, and directly select here create internet gateways, and we need to provide the name of the internet gateway. So my IGW, my internet gateway. Okay, so directly select here create internet gateway. Now we successfully created our internet gateway, but currently it is in detached mode. So now we need to attach this internet gateway to this VPC. So directly select here attach to VPC and directly drop down this and select your VPC. So I want to attach this internet gateway for my VPC. So directly select that VPC and directly select here attach internet gateway. So now here state has been changed to attached. So this internet gateway has been attached to my VPC. Okay, so now we need to create a route table. So directly select your route tables and directly select your create route table. So let me provide the name like my RT. Okay, my route table, and here we need to select VPC, under which VPC you want to create this route table it is asking. So I want to create this route table under my VPC. So directly select here my VPC and directly select here create route table. Okay, so here you can see successfully our route table has been created under my VPC. Okay, so now we need to associate our public subnet with this route table. So directly come here and directly select your subnet associations and directly select your edit subnet associations and directly select your public subnet 1 and directly select your save associations. Okay, so now our public subnet will be associated with this route table. So here you can see it is associated successfully. So now we need to update routes. So directly select your routes, directly select your edit routes and add route, and here we need to provide 0.0.0.0/0, and here through internet gateway we are going to provide internet access. Okay, so directly select this internet gateway, which is my IGW, and directly select here save changes. Okay, successfully we have updated routes. Okay, so now let me open this. So our networking setup is ready. So now we need to launch an EC2 instance inside this public subnet. Okay, so let's directly come here and directly select here EC2, or else open this in a new tab. Okay, so directly select here instances. So here you can see currently we don't have even single EC2 instance. So let's create a new EC2 instance inside our public subnet. So directly select your launch instance. So first we need to give the name of the instance. So let's give the name like static website instance. Okay. So this is the name I'm giving. Sorry. Okay. So this is the name I'm giving. So in this case you can give whatever you want. So here OS I'm going to select Ubuntu, and instance type I'm going with T2 micro. So T2 micro is more than enough for this today's video. And after that we need to create a key pair. So let me create a key pair like new key pair. Okay, so this is the name I'm giving for my key pair, and I'm going with .pem, or else directly select here create new key pair. Okay, so let me open this. Let me select here downloads. So here you can see a key pair, a private key has been downloaded to our local machine. Okay, so now if you want to select proceed without a key pair, you can directly select here proceed without a key pair, and you can directly connect using this cloud shell. Okay, so I'm going to select here new key pair. And this is the main thing, networking settings. So previously we created a VPC, and previously we created a subnet and the gateways, route tables and everything, right? So now we need to select our VPC and we need to select our public subnet. So directly come here and directly select here edit, and here you need to select my VPC. So under this VPC we are going to create, under this subnet we are going to create this EC2 instance. Okay, so now here auto assign public IP, always you need to keep this enable. So if you keep this in disable mode, by default public IP address will not be allocated for this EC2 instance. So that's why here you need to keep this in enable. Okay, so if you keep this in enable, by default public IP address will be allocated for this EC2 instance. Okay, so now we need to create security groups for this. So I'm going with these names. Okay, so here inbound rules I'm giving SSH, and after that we need to add another security group rule, which is HTTP. Okay, directly select this HTTP and anywhere. Okay, so we are going to provide two security group inbound rules, which is SSH and which is HTTP. Okay, so now default storage I'm going with 8 GB. 8 GB is more than enough. Okay, so directly select this launch instance. So directly select here instances and directly refresh this page. So here you can see our EC2 instance is in up and running. So directly select this EC2 instance. So here you can see this is our public IP. So I'm going to connect using this cloud shell itself. So directly select your instance and directly select connect, and directly select here connect. So it will connect to our EC2 instance, or else previously we created a key pair, right? So using that key pair you can connect using mobile XTM or putty, it may be anything. You can connect from other shells. Okay, so directly clear this. So first initially we need to update this virtual machine. So sudo apt update -y. So it will update this virtual machine. So let me hit sudo so. So currently I'm on super user. So now I'm going to install this Apache 2 web server inside this EC2 instance. Okay, so now here apt install Apache 2 -y. Okay, so it will install Apache 2 web server inside this EC2 instance. Now let's clear the screen. Now we need to start that Apache 2 web server. Systemctl start Apache 2. Okay, so it will start this Apache 2 web server, and let's enable this Apache 2 web server by hitting enable systemctl enable Apache 2. Okay, so now let's see the status of this Apache 2 web server. Let's clear this and status. So here you can see our Apache 2 is active and running, and it is in enable state. Okay, so let's come out from this. Okay, so now let's try to access this Apache 2 web server, whether it is populating or not. Let me copy this public IP address and open a new tab, and let's keep it here. And here http colon slash slash, and we need to access with port 80. Okay, so by default Apache 2 web server will run on the port 80. Okay, so here you can see successfully our Apache 2 server is active and running. This is the Apache 2 default page. Okay, so now let's deploy our static websites into this Apache 2 web server. So here you can see this is my static website. So I will copy this repository URL, and I will open this terminal, and I will clear the screen. Okay, so let me go to this path first, cd where www.html. Okay, so inside this we have this file index.html. So this is the default path of Apache 2 web server. Okay, so let's remove this index.html file, rm index.html. So currently in html path we don't have even single file. So let's come out from this. Okay, so let's clone our repository, git clone, and you need to provide the repository URL. So ls, so here you can see Netflix. So successfully we cloned our repository. So let's jump onto that repository and ls. So here you can see inside this repository we have all these files. So now we need to move all these files to this path where www html path. Okay, so now simple, you need to do move and start. We are going to move all files. So slash where www html, directly select enter. Okay, so here you can see all the files has been moved to this path where www.html. Okay, so when I hit ll inside this Netflix directory we don't have a single file. Okay, so now let's directly jump onto this path, cd slash where www.html. Okay, ls. So here you can see inside this we have all these files. So now let's directly come here and let's directly refresh this page. We can see our static website. So here you can see successfully we deployed our static website inside this Apache 2 web server. So this is how you can deploy your static websites inside this Apache 2 web server. Okay, so up to now we created a VPC and we created subnet and we created internet gateways and we attached this internet gateway to this route table, sorry, VPC, and we created a route table and we associated our public subnet with this route table. And after that we created an EC2 instance inside this public subnet, and we access it into this EC2 instance. There we installed Apache 2 web server similarly like this. Okay, and we successfully deployed our static website. So now what we need to do is we need to open this GoDaddy. So previously I purchased a domain name, right, with name vijaygudu3.in. With that domain name we need to create a hosted zone on AWS Route 53. Okay, so let's open this and let's open GoDaddy login, and directly open this. So let's wait. Let's cancel this and directly jump onto my products, and directly select your DNS. So here you can see these are all the name servers. Okay, just leave it. So here you can see this is my domain name vijaygudu3.in. So using this domain name we need to create a hosted zone on AWS Route 53. Okay, so let's create a hosted zone on Route 53 with my GoDaddy domain name. Okay, so let's directly copy this domain name, which is vijaygudu3.in, and let's open here Route 53. So let's open this in a new tab. and directly select here hosted zones. So here you can see currently we don't have even single hosted zone. So let's create a new hosted zone. So directly select here create hosted zone, and first here we need to give our domain name. So my domain name is vijayagidthuri.in. So type we need to select here public hosted zone. So directly select here create hosted zone. So here you can see a hosted zone has been created with my domain name, which is vijayagidthuri.in. So now what we need to do is, so this is ns name servers. So directly select this. So now we need to update this four name servers on GoDaddy name servers. Okay. So let's directly open this GoDaddy and directly jump onto name servers and directly come down, and these are the GoDaddy name servers. So now instead of this we need to update our route 53 name servers. Okay, so directly select here change name servers. Now here you need to select I'll use my own name server. So directly select this, and now here we need to provide our four name servers. Okay, so directly select first name server ns360 and directly come here, and in first name server paste it here ns360 aws dns. Okay, so here you can see ns360 aws dns, and copy second name server which is ns1495 and directly come here and paste it here. Okay, ns1495 and directly select add name server and copy this third name server ns1915 and paste it here ns1915. So this is the third name server, and directly come here, copy this fourth name server which is ns613 and directly select here add name server and paste your fourth name server ns613. Okay, so directly select here save and directly select here continue. Okay, so now successfully we updated our name servers. That means we updated our route 53 name servers with GoDaddy name servers. So still it is populating this GoDaddy name servers. So okay, so let's refresh this page. So now it will populate our route 53 name servers. So here you can see ns360 aws dns, ns1495 aws dns, ns1915 aws dns, ns613 aws dns. So similarly you can see this name servers here. So these are the aws route 53 name servers. Okay, so now what we need to do is like we need to create an a record inside this name server. Okay, sorry, a record inside this hosted zone. Okay, so directly select here create record. So here I'm not adding any of the subdomains. I'm directly going with vijayagidthuri.in. So here record type, here you need to select a record. A record routes traffic to IPv4 address. Okay, so here you can see currently this is an IPv4 address, right? So you need to drop down this and directly select here a record. Okay, you need to select here a record, and here we need to provide our EC2 instance public IPv4 address. So directly come here and copy your public IPv4 address and come here and paste it here. Okay, so you need to provide your public IPv4 address of your EC2 instance, and TTL seconds I'm going with 300, and here routing calls I'm going with simple routing. Okay, so directly select here create records. So now a record has been created. So here you can see a record has been created. So let me see this status. So currently it is in pending. So here we need to see in sync. Okay, so let's wait for some time. So meanwhile, let me open this DNS propagation checker, and here let me select vijayagidthuri.in and type we need to select here a record and directly select here search. So here we need to see our EC2 instance public IP address, guys. Okay, so let's wait. So meanwhile, let's come here. So here you can see currently status has been changed to in sync. Okay, so DNS needs to update, guys. Okay, so we need to wait for some time. So sometimes it takes nearly 5 to 10 minutes to update this DNS records, or else sometimes it takes nearly more than 2 to 3 hours to update this DNS record. Sometimes it will take more than one day. Okay, so we need to wait for that time. Most probably it will complete in less than 10 minutes to 30 minutes. Okay, so let's wait for that time. Directly select here hosted zone and open this hosted zone. Okay, so let's wait for some time. So after 10 minutes, DNS has been updated successfully. So let me open this. So if I refresh this, here you can see these are all the EC2 instance public IP address 54.210.136.133. If you observe here 54.210.136.133 means this is our EC2 instance public IP address. In so many regions it is updated, guys. Okay, so now let's try to access our static website using this domain name, which is vijayagirtiri.in. So previously we accessed it using this public IP address. Okay, so let me show you that. So here you can see previously we accessed it using this public IP address. So now let's try to access using our domain name. Okay, so let's open a new tab, and here http://vijayagirtiri.in, directly select enter. So here you can see our traffic is going to vijayagirtiri.in. So currently it is not secure. That means currently it is going to HTTP itself. Okay. So finally we are accessing our static website using our custom domain name, which is vijayagirtiri.in. Okay. So this is how you can deploy your static website, and you can add your custom domains. Okay. So let me open this. So in next video I'll explain you how to request a certificate from certificate manager for HTTPS. Okay, so in next video we are going to secure our website using HTTPS using certificate manager. Okay, so let me open this, and successfully we are accessing using vijayagirtiri.in. Okay, so and yes, that's it for today's video, and let me try to terminate this entire resources. So after completing your labs, try to delete entire resources, because AWS will charge some of the amount from you. So after completing your labs, you need to delete entire resources. Okay, so directly select this instance, and directly select instance state, and directly select here terminate and delete. Okay, so this EC2 instance will be deleted after some time. So let me close this, and now I'm going to delete this Route 53 hosted zone. So before deleting this Route 53 hosted zone, you need to delete this A record. Okay, directly select this delete record and delete. Okay, now select this hosted zones and select your hosted zone and delete, and select here delete and delete. Okay, so hosted zone also deleted successfully. So now let's jump on to this GoDaddy, and now here I'm going to change this name servers to GoDaddy name servers. Okay, change name servers and GoDaddy name servers and save. So now it will use GoDaddy name servers instead of Route 53 name servers. Okay, why? Because means we deleted our Route 53 hosted zone, right? So that's why. Let's come here and let's refresh this. So currently it isn't shutting down state. So after terminated this EC2 instance, let's directly delete our VPC, guys. Okay, so if you directly delete this VPC, inside this VPC we have created subnets, internet gateways, route tables, right? Entire resources will be deleted. So here you can see under this VPC we created this subnet, and we created this route table, and we associated our subnet with this route table, and we created internet gateway, right? Entire resources will be deleted. Okay, so let's come here and let's refresh this. Now this application will not work. Okay, so here you can see this site can't be reached. So now let's come here. So currently it is terminated. So now let's jump onto VPC and select your VPC, and directly select actions and delete VPC, and directly select here delete and delete. So now under this VPC we have subnets, internet gateways, route tables, and everything, right? Entire resources will be deleted. So here you can see currently we don't have that VPC. That VPC also has been terminated. Okay, entire resources has been terminated. So in next video I'll explain you how to add an SSL certificate for our domain using AWS Certificate Manager. Okay, so and yes, that's it for today's video. And if you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys, and see you in the next video, and bye.